Yeah, you just mentioned that you built a board for foiling behind the boat, and before we started to record, you also told me that you're working on a project to build a wingfoil board and foil made out of biocomposites. Like, what's the story behind that? Like, how did you
Yeah,
come
man.
up with the
So
idea?
yeah, that's a pretty interesting story. Yeah. So for the Olympic campaign, I was really looking into some companies who can support me. Yeah. So I was looking for sponsors to help me with this campaign, and I got to a company from a pretty big investor, I would say, in Holland, and he owns a lot of different companies. But he was everything he does, it's has something to do with sustainability and with just giving a bit back to the environment. He's building some big housing projects with bio with sustainability in mind. So he
Mm-hmm.
showed me a couple of materials, biocomposites he's gonna use for isolation. And I was like, man, can we build a board out of this? And he was like, yeah, probably we can. So he made this biocomposite, but he also made a bio resin. So the
Mm-hmm.
carbon that is a thing that it's no, it's not sustainable in any way, I would say. But also the resin, the epoxy and the polyurethane, they're not bio or sustainable in any way. So
Mm-hmm.
this is really the thing. He was like, okay, when I'm gonna do a bio composite, I want to also do a bio resin, and that's for me really the thing. Okay, when we're gonna build a board, yeah, the only thing we still have to figure out is the foam, because yeah, the foam is also not really sustainable in any way. And then that's the last part of the project we're gonna work on. But yeah, he was really really super positive when I told him, like, yeah, let's show the world, what we can do with this biocomposite material. Because for him, he's building isolation panels and a lot of different parts of the internals of a housing building for that. And not a lot of people get to see it. It's not people or home builders or anyone who uses these composites. They're not gonna think, okay, this is a good showcase of what I can do. So for me, it was, yeah, let's show the world what we can do with this stuff. And even for people who are not, able to use pre-preg materials and all the high stuff like that, let's show them what we can do and how easy it can be to use these biocomposite instead of the fiberglass or the carbon or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
then that was the thing when I was like, yeah, let's really do something with this. So I asked the guys who knew a bit more about it, how is it going to compare to carbon, for example? Because for me, I want to do a wingboard for sure, maybe even a smaller board, less volume. And I also want to do a race board, because then you can really show how the strength of the material, and you can show to everyone what a high performance potential the material also has.
Mm-hmm.
So then I asked the guys, yeah, how does it compare to the traditional carbon and epoxy in terms of strength and yeah, and loads and everything like that. And we found out that it's actually, yeah, it's pretty comparable, if you'd like to say. Of course it's a bit heavier it's a bit heavier, but it's not gonna make a huge difference. I think in the board, when you build it with carbon, a race board, it would be 2.3, and maybe with the bio and the resin, the bio resin as well, it would be 2.4, 2.5. So it's not gonna make a huge difference. And the strength as well, it's really really strong. So yeah, it's for me. It's yeah. I hope that eventually all the boards are gonna be out of this material. If we're kiters and guys who like to be in the ocean, yeah, we're always talking about, oh, we want to give back and we do beach cleanups and all that stuff. But the boards we're riding, yeah, they're all still not recyclable or reusable in any way. So when your board breaks, you throw it in the bin and you get a new board. But think, yeah, if we show the world what we can do with these bio composites, it's
Mm-hmm.
really gonna change the whole industry. Probably, I hope that's the result that will come out of it. Yeah.
Do you know something about the costs of that material? Like, how are the costs
So
comparable to regular gear?
yeah, so in this point, they are making the material in a pre-preg construction, so that for everyone who's listening, what this means is that the resin it gets in the composite material in the factory, so you don't have to add the composite of the resin when you're building the board. It's you just throw it in the oven, you would say, and then the resin will harden out and you have the product. So this
Mm-hmm.
automatically makes the composite a bit more expensive. So for example, a lot of brands already use the prepreg carbon technology, and then it's a bit more expensive. But if we want to make it, usable for the public, it will be two different products for sure. You will have the bioresin. You can even probably just use the bioresin instead of epoxy. When you can use carbon if you like with the bioresin, it will already make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what the guys are gonna do now is, really start out with doing products that are a bit more expensive, as I talked before about the housing and um, the isolation materials. The people are gonna, they're gonna pay a bit more for that because it's gonna give them something back, a bit more. The insulation of the house will go up. They will save on their energy cost. So
Mm-hmm.
then the cost will, for some people it won't cost as much, if you look at it in the long term. But yeah, I think, for example, if you compare it to Tesla, it will start out, it will start out expensive, and then as the innovation costs, they will start to earn that back a bit. Then it will be available for the public. But yeah, if I look at all the high grade products that are already being used in the market for wing and for the kite, I won't think it will be a problem to just switch them around. There
Mm-hmm.
are already a lot of brands using pre-preg carbon, and man, it's not cheap. So yeah, I think I don't know the details, but I think it will be around the same as a pre-preg carbon. Yeah,
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I think like what you said is pretty on point. Like everybody who's involved in water sports, is kind of at least at some point interested in cleanups on the beach or maybe also in microplastics in the ocean, stuff like that. But on the other hand, we take planes to go to cool spots. We drive our cars to the beach every day, back and forth, and also we use a lot of gear that is not recyclable at all. Especially as I'm thinking, the wing materials and also the wetsuits are pretty bad. So yeah, if we get more
yeah,
options there, that can make a big difference. Especially if you're a regular guy in the water, like
yeah,
if
for
you're
sure.
riding 20 days a year, and you don't need that much gear. But if you're riding 200 days a year, you need a wetsuit every year at least one, maybe even two.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I think the companies who are into the gear, and they're all looking for better ways, to solve this problem. They're all water sports companies. If the ocean is going to be full of plastic in a few years, they won't sell gear as well. So it's also their problem. And you
Hmm.
already see this with a couple of big wetsuits brands, Patagonia and also Monera and a lot of other brands. They switch to other kinds of rubber. They switch to
Hmm.
the natural rubbers and everything like that. So I think, yeah, from the industry, they're really, yeah, motivated to also look at the next possible way. And maybe if we show them what is possible with this bio composite and this bio resin, maybe it will be the industry standard in a couple of years. Yeah, who knows?
Nice.
Get down.